Yo, what's good? Welcome to the Broken Clock Podcast. I am Jabari. Please hit subscribe, like, share, comment. Tell me what you like, tell me what you don't like, tell me what you love, tell me what you hate. And please hit that notification bell. Please hit that notification bell, please. I just found out how important that was, which is crazy because I do that to people I like. But that's a really important thing. Hit that notification bell, and that'll let you know when I'm dropping stuff. You know what I mean? And if you don't hit the notification bell, you're a hater. You know what I mean? You're a hater. You don't want me to win. You don't want me to succeed. You're a hater, okay? It's nothing wrong with being a hater. I'm a hater sometimes. You know what I mean? You can still listen, but hit the notification bell if you really rock with me. Please rock with me. If this was your first time, thank you. Thank you for tuning in. You did not have to click this. You do not have to listen to me, but thank you. And if you're returning, I really rock with you, man. A little transparency. I'm in another place. I'm still producing. This is real 2025. I'm sitting behind a real fireplace. We got a virtual fireplace. This is real 2025 right here. This is gonna be my third video that I put up. My second, I still don't know what I'm doing. I still don't know if I'm gonna call this an episode or the first official video I posted other than the welcome video was the Where's the Keys video, which is me breaking down week 7 of the NFL, and I broke down the season finale of Taz. On here today, I'm going to talk all NBA, straight NBA talk. It is 6:55 Wednesday, 6:55 p.m. Eastern Time Wednesday. So the Wednesday games are about to start. I can't really give I watched a little bit of the Inside the NBA, the debut on ESPN. I didn't really see anything different, but I'll talk about that another day. I'm going to try not to make this too long, man. I'm going to definitely try to keep this under an hour. I'm going to give a full NBA preview today, team by team, awards, team by team preview, man. But up first, I want to talk about the NBC debut last night. The first time the NBA on the NBC in over 20 years. I don't know the exact number, but over 20 years. I wasn't, nobody goes back and watches more old games than me, so I know what round ball rock is. I know what it sounds like. You know what I mean? But I'm not going to act like the nostalgia hit me, like that. But the broadcast was good. It was positive. You know what I mean? It didn't seem dark like how TNT's used to. You know what I mean? It just seemed dark. Not that, I don't know. It was just weird. I never liked the game broadcast. I never liked that TNT. I never liked how the net sound when somebody makes a shot and it swishes. I never liked how the net sound. And it just, I never really rocked with it. You know what I mean? Obviously, they had the greatest, studio show ever, probably the greatest sports studio show ever. And Charles Barkley's a GOAT at that. You know what I mean? He's the greatest. He's one of the, and the fact that he's one of the greatest basketball players of all time is a plus. But he's the GOAT at being a studio talking head. You know what I mean? I have no doubt that they'll be good at ESPN. I know he went on Bill Simmons and said he didn't know what was. This was like a month ago. He went on Bill Simmons and he was like, "We really ain't spoke to nobody yet. We have no idea what we're doing. We haven't had a meeting yet." This was like a month ago. So that was kind of bad news, but I'm like, what is ESPN going to tell them? You know what I'm saying? Like they great without ESPN. You know what I'm saying? This is helping ESPN out. You know what I'm saying? This is not helping Inside the NBA out. But I'm not going to talk on that much longer. I'm going to get into like I said, the broadcast was really good. I thought the broadcast was good. It was good to see Melo, T-Mac, and VC. You know what I mean? It was really good to see them. Reggie Miller, Jamal Crawford, Mike Tirico calling the game. I thought Jamal Crawford was definitely good, but if you watch basketball, if you're in the basketball world, because the last couple years he's been doing this, he's been doing the color commentary. I think he was doing it for TNT, and it was always good. People always liked it. People just like Jamal Crawford, and he talks good. He's funny enough. He's hip enough. You know what I mean? Reggie last night was, typical Reggie, man. He said some stuff. I'm like, why did you say that? And then he said some good stuff. Reggie almost has lasted so long. Like it's like complaining about Reggie at this point is like what you gonna do? You know what I'm saying? Like it's a thing that they just never fix. They'll just never get it right. TNT got it close to right the last couple years, and what I'm talking about is if it says the game starts at 7:30, can the game be tipped off by 7:35, please? Last night the game tipped off at 7:43, 7:44. I just don't understand that. I think what they're trying to do is get the most viewers in. It's just known like in basketball is like the only sport that does this too. In football, if the game starts at 1 o'clock, by 1:04, kickoff is happening. The latest. You know what I'm saying? And ESPN is just I swear to God, ESPN last year, there was games that was scheduled to come on at 8:30 that was coming on at 9 o'clock. Like literally, they'll be in. It's not the pregame show. It was so bad to me. I've been complaining about that since I was a kid. People really started complaining about it the last few years. But I'm not going to get mad at it. But it's just something that it was like typical. Of course, this game isn't going to start at 7:30. I thought that NBC would try to like show like we're better, like we're going to be new, we're going to be different. No, they started late. The Rockets Thunder game. First game was Rockets at Thunder. Thunder got their rings, obviously. The second game was the Warriors at the Lakers. The Rockets Thunder game, man. The Rockets Thunder game. That was one of the most physical regular season games I saw in a long time. Like, it was too physical almost. It was too physical. Like, dudes were flying everywhere. I feel like 5 times dudes slammed into the basket stanchion. Like, slammed their backs into it. Like, I don't think they were trying to do that. They weren't flopping. That was a physical basketball game, man. I'm telling y'all, from what I remember and what I go back and watch. 10, 15 years ago, basketball was not that physical, man. It was not that type of physicality. Maybe big men might have a different story. Maybe if you down low and you bruising and you playing in the post, but on the perimeter, the stuff that these defenders can get away with sometimes, and I don't think a clean screen was set yesterday. You know what I mean? In the Laker game, Marcus Smart was like, hold your beer, Rockets and Thunder. He was. I'll get to that. Marcus Smart was just as a Celtic fan. Marcus was like typical. He played all the hits, man. But I'll get to that. Starting with the Rockets game, man. Like I said, physical game. The Thunder obviously was leaving Amen open, and he was taking all of those threes. They was leaving him open for 3, and he was taking them. To the point where I thought, like, in the second half, you need to stop taking them. You know what I mean? And he kind of did. You know what I mean? Chet was moving. Chet was the winner of the first half. Obviously, Sengun was good in the first half, but Chet was he was moving really different. And obviously, he was hitting shots. But he just looked aggressive. Like, I'm not going to say he hasn't had times where he looked aggressive before, but to start a game, he was like, and they were obviously trying to get him involved a little bit. Like, I kind of liked how Chet looked. The biggest red flag in that entire game was Reece Shepard. Reece Shepard, I'm not going to dwell on it. I'm not going to hold it against him. It's the first game of the season, and you're playing against probably the greatest, definitely one of the best defensive teams of all time, but I think definitely the best perimeter defensive team of all time. Like, you saw it in that game last night. If you can't dribble the ball against them, SGA just took the ball from Jabari Smith Jr. like twice. Just took it from him. Just like, give me the ball. We're going back the other way. You can't dribble against them, and I'm almost not going to judge him for that. You know what I mean? You're playing against that team, but Reed, I still thought he was moving well. I thought he had he obviously has a quick jump shot. I think he'll be good. I'm not going to judge him off that game. I don't know how many guards. Obviously he played some games last year. He played in the G League, but he didn't look good. I'm not going to hold it against him. And like I said, I thought the broadcast was really good. One thing that's like a pet peeve of mine, that's like a real pet peeve of mine, like it's just tired. It's just like, we get it. It's one of those things like, we get it. We get it. When an NBA player shoots a 3 and then banks it in, you don't have to be the play-by-play or the color commentary guy and go, but did he call it? But did he call it? Reggie Miller did that twice last night. It's like, we get the joke. That's a 20-year-old joke. It's not funny no more. It's almost like AI Reggie Miller. And that's what I was thinking. It was kind of like AI Reggie Miller last night. It was kind of like, it's like, was that Reggie or was that like Robot Reggie? Because I'm pretty sure they did show him, but I was taking a lot of notes. I was doing a lot of stuff last night. I never physically saw Reggie Miller last night, so I don't know if that was AI Reggie Miller or not. But that right there was like, please don't talk about how the bank's not open or like come on, man. You know what I mean? But another thing I want to talk about is two of my favorite players right now. Two of my favorite players were in that Rockets and Thunder game. One player that I just love. I love watching him, man. He was one of my favorite players last year. And last night, he just played all the hits, man. Cason Wallace, man. I love that kid, man. Oh, my God. That's a hooper to me. That's a hooper. A lot of people call hoopers only dudes that can score. Cason Wallace is like, whatever you need me to do, I'll do it. Whatever you need me to do, I'm going to do it. It's that simple. That's the hooper to me. Like, Bruce Brown is a hooper. That last year you had with Denver when they won the chip, that's Hooper to me. That's like, I'll guard LeBron, I'll rebound, I'll hit threes, I'll play point guard. What do you need me to do? Some guys are only good when they're dominating the ball, and people call them hoopers. Listen, I never played basketball on a super high level, so I'm not the one to judge. But Casey Wallace is, you win with dudes like that, man. Same with Jabari Smith Jr. He's another one of my favorite players. You know what I'm saying? Not just because my name is Jabari. You know what I'm saying? That is like 20% of the reason why. Like, I rooted for Jabari Parker so hard. I rooted for him so hard. And his last year he played with the Celtics, he was terrible. Like, he was done. He had no knees. He couldn't move side to side. He was terrible. Through that entire game, it was just so physical. That's all I have in my notes here, just physicality. It was just so crazy. Sengun, that was kind of like his. A lot of people found out about him last night. A lot of casual NBA fans, a lot of people who don't really watch NBA like that, they found out about Sengun. He is that good. He is a guy, if he has the ball in the post, and it don't even matter if the guy's his size, you kind of got to double him. You got to double him. And last night he had 5 threes. He's, I think, 5 for 9 for 3. He might not hit 5 threes in a game the rest of the season, but he's obviously going to take them more. I ain't going to say that. The way they shoot threes now, you never know. How many threes get taken in the game now is ridiculous. But the gravity of Kevin Durant, and it was kind of the reason I think he was going off a little bit. When Kevin Durant is on the basketball court, it sounds so simple. But obviously when you're that level of Kevin Durant, when you're that like high caliber scorer, just efficient, and you could just hit any shot, get the ball and do anything with it from anywhere on the floor. When you're that great a player and you're on the court, the other team can't double team anybody but you. So if Sengun is out there, he's never going to get double teamed if Kevin Durant is out there. You can't do it. It's the same with every great player. It sounds simple, but people need to think about that when you're watching basketball. When you see a player like Kevin Durant, this is why when Kevin Durant went to the Warriors, it was ridiculous, and that team was unbeatable because you can't double team him. And you got Stephen Clay out there. It's a whole nother thing. I'm not going to get real X's and O's, but the KD gravity was obvious in that game. KD hit some tough shots. They was guarding him really good. And back to Casey Wallace. Casey Wallace was guarding him a lot in that first half and holding his own. He was on Sengun a couple times, Casey. I just love. I could talk about Casey Wallace forever. I'm not going to do it. Towards the end of the game, in the beginning of the third quarter, the Thunder did what they did. Anytime the Thunder adjusted last year, that was just them going small. They did that at the beginning of the second half, and the Rockets kind of punished them. The Rockets got out to like almost a 15-point lead, a 13-point lead in that third quarter. And SGA started, I'm the MVP. I'm the best player in the league. I think I'm the best player in the league. And he started to bring them back a little bit. The game was close at the end, obviously. And at the end, I should have wrote this down. At the end of the first OT, it was definitely at the end of regulation or the end of the first T. KD just straight up had a Chris Webber moment. He straight up called a timeout, signaled for a timeout. And it seems like the ref, who he looked like he was the youngest ref there, and Mark Dagnall, the Thunder head coach, was about to, he wanted to choke him out. KD called a timeout, and it seems like the ref that was closest was that young ref, and he didn't call it. Like, oh, I know you, like almost like he let KD get away with it, and Mark Dagnall wanted to go. He was pointing his finger in his face to that young referee. Kevin Durant had a legit Chris Webber moment. And I thought it was funny that Reggie Miller called it out right away. Like, that's your former colleague. You used to do games with Chris Webber. And Chris Webber was probably sitting somewhere. I think he lives in Atlanta. Chris Webber was probably sitting somewhere like, I'm chilling. I'm not in this game. This ain't Sacramento not playing. Why are y'all talking about me? Why did KD have to have that moment? And then the final score was 125-124. Thunder ended up pulling it out. SGA hit the go-ahead bucket. First game of the season. I do think those are obviously Thunder's best team in the league. And I think Houston, they was a top 5 team last year. I think they may be top 3. Those are probably 2 of the best 3 teams you'll see this year. You could argue those are the 2 best teams. You know what I mean? Like, those teams, the only thing with Houston, and this is why, and I'll get to this in my preview, this is why I kind of took them out of winning the chip. I was ready to pick them to go to the finals if they had Fred VanVleet. That Fred VanVleet tearing his ACL before the season was deadly, man. That was really bad for them because you need a point guard. You know, like these teams, the Clippers tried it that first year, Kawhi and Paul George was with the Clippers. Patrick Beverley was their point guard. Patrick Beverley and Lou Williams, 2 guys who are not point guards. Like, you need a point guard. You need guys to set dudes up. You need to be able to run the pick and roll. It sounds so simple, but you have to be able to accurately run the pick and roll. And the Suns tried that when they tried to do the Devin Booker and KD are point guards. Like, you need a point guard. You can't win without a point guard. It's that simple. And Houston needs a point guard. Are they going to trade these? C.J. McCollum trade rumors started about a week ago on the deep NBA Twitters from the Wizards fans and the Rockets fans. You know what I mean? I don't know if that's going to be it, but if they're going to win a title, if they're going to get to the finals, they need a point guard. Reed Shepherd, even at his best this year, he's not going to be the guy. He's not going to be the guy. Yeah, great game, great physical game, great way to start the season. Warriors and the Lakers. I can't wait to talk about both of these teams in my preview. I didn't watch a lot of this game because I missed like the whole first quarter because it went to double overtime. I saw Luka was killing early, which is expected. I mean, I think Luka's gonna put up the stupidest numbers this year. I think he's gonna put up stupid numbers this year. He got 42. He played 41 minutes, but the 42, especially in the second half, he was getting there. He was in and out of, do I set this guy up? Do I attack? I think they're gonna figure stuff out. I just don't think at their best that Laker team is gonna be a real threat. I just don't, even with LeBron coming back. Like the fact that this Laker team needs 40-year-old LeBron. I think he started 41 in December. The fact that they need him is a problem. He's 40 years old. And guess what? You talk to Laker fans all summer, they kept doing LeBron was hurt. LeBron was hurt. He's going to be hurt going into this playoffs if they get there because he's old. Go look at Kobe the last 4 or 5 years he was going to the playoffs. He had an injury going into every playoff, and obviously every player got something going on when you're that deep into the season. But Kobe always had something that was so big that the media had to talk about it. He had to wear that big finger cast. He was getting his knee drained. He was old. No athlete has put more miles on their body than LeBron, and Kobe was a pretty high one too. You know what I mean? LeBron's gonna be hurt. He's gonna get hurt, and I don't know. I've never even heard of a sciatica nerve back injury, but apparently it's something that don't really go away. It's something you gotta deal with. You know what I mean? So I don't. And he's 40. And last year they really needed him to be the anchor defensively. If LeBron had to do that this year, that team is not going on. They're just not. And that's what you'll see in my preview. Luka probably being the best player in the league this year. I just don't. I think it's too hard, and you're in the West. I just don't think it's going to happen. I'm not going to speak too much on that Lakers-Warriors game because I didn't watch it, so I don't want to just talk out of turn. I'm going to just go straight to my preview. I'm going to go straight to my NBA preview. I spent 2 days doing notes on this. I'm going to try not to go too long. I've been going about 17 minutes right now. I'm going to try not to go too long. I'm going to start with awards. Awards this year, I have Luka winning MVP, Wemby winning Defensive Player of the Year. Like I said, I think Luka, and this is something else from the game, Luka did look smaller. He looked skinnier. He looked like he was moving quicker. He was a little more bouncier. He was a little more herky-jerky. He wasn't, you know what I mean? He wasn't looking slow and lethargic. He looked decent on defense to me, which ain't saying much for Luka, but he looked okay. I think he's gonna, if the Lakers, and I have him winning MVP, and I think they would have to win at least 48, 49. I want to say 50 games for him to win MVP. And I think they could probably get there. But honestly, after last night, seeing how bad Ayton looked, I don't know. I'm thinking about this MVP pick. I do think he's going to put up crazy numbers this year. He put up 42 and 13 and 8 last night. I really don't know. I'm second guessing the Luka MVP pick. If I didn't pick Luka, I don't know. I really don't know. But Defensive Player of the Year, Wemby, I think that guy's going to average 4.5 blocks a game this year, easily. I think that's a low ball. You know what I mean? I think he's going to win Defensive Player of the Year for the next 10 years if he's healthy. I really think they're going to make a new rule for him or something. You can't win no more. If that guy plays 70 games this year, he's going to be the most impactful defensive player by default. You know what I mean? And, I just think that's a lot. Rookie of the Year, Cooper Flag. That's kind of I don't see how he doesn't win it barring an injury. You know what I mean? If it wasn't him, I would probably go Khan or Khan Knipple in Charlotte or Ace Bailey in Utah. But I got Cooper Flag winning Rookie of the Year. Most Improved, Azure Thompson. Sixth Man of the Year, I'm honest. Sixth Man of the Year, I put don't have an answer. Didn't have one, didn't care to look and dig and see who. Not saying I don't care about the award, but I don't know. I just didn't have an answer, and I didn't want to front like I had one. Because this is kind of like genuine. Like I did some research, but this is like how I really off the cuff feel. Like I wanted to give my gut preview. You know what I mean? And I have coach of the year. Lock coach of the year is Ime Udoka. That's my lock. Like the only person I could see winning it is Mike Brown in New York. But I'm going to talk about why that's shaky. How that got shaky real quick for me. But Ime Udoka is like a lock to me. They're not going to give it to Mark Daigneault again. I think he would have to win like 70 games for him to win it again. And I don't even think they'll give it to him then. I really don't. That's 2 more wins than they had last year. Who somebody else who won it recently? Yeah, I don't think they're gonna give it to Mark Daigneault again. Who won it? Like, I'm having a brain fart, but I Coach Udoka is my lock. I think he's the best coach in the league. I really do. That's why you should go over on him. And by over, I mean obviously over in wins, but just expect them to overachieve. I think he's that type of coach. I think he's a maniac. I think he's crazy. I think he's a great husband. I'm joking. He's not a great husband, but great coach. I think he's a great coach. Matter of fact, I think the fact that he's a bad husband might make him a great coach. That means you're a great coach. A lot of great coaches, their wives end up divorcing them. You know what I mean? Because they're too obsessed with the game. Okay, so let me go into next. I have my top 10 power rankings going into the season. I'll be honest. I've been watching sports a long time. I'm really into it. I'm deep into it. Power rankings always confuse me. I get it, but I don't get it. But let me just go. I'm gonna go 1 to 10. 1, I have the Thunder. 2, I have the Nuggets. 3, I have the Knicks. 4, I have the Cavs. 5, I have the Rockets. 6, I have the Magic. 7, I have the T-Wolves. 8, I have the Pistons. 9, Clippers. 10, Mavericks. I don't really want to give. I don't want to go deep dive why I picked it all. I did tweet this on Broken Clock at Broken Clock 96 on Twitter. I did tweet this. I don't really want to go into explaining it because I'm gonna kind of get into it when I do my team preview. My top 10 players going into the 2026 NBA season. I have Joker 1, 2. Yeah, I'm gonna go 1 to 10. Joker 1, 2 Giannis, 3 SGA, 4 Luka, 5 Ant-Man, 6 Brunson, 7 Devin Booker, 8 KD, 9 Steph, and 10 Donovan Mitchell. I'll give a little quick reasoning. Joker to me is like Joker, and I'll talk about this in the preview. Joker is not by far the best player in the league, but Nikola Jokic is the most unstoppable player I've ever seen. He's the most unstoppable player I've watched since I've been a diehard fan of him. So since about 2007 is when I started like religiously watching the NBA, 2007, 8, he's been the most unstoppable player since then. And I really don't think it's a debate. You can stop a perimeter player. You can stop a perimeter player. You can't stop a 7-footer that can move like that. And the fact that he's the best passer in the league probably, and he has great touch, he can shoot the ball all kind of different ways. He's the most unstoppable player. He's never really been stopped. Like seriously, he's never really been stopped. Like obviously he loses, but it's not because of him. I'm not saying that it's blameless on him, but he's gotten better. He's not a bad defender anymore. He's just not a bad defender. If you think he's a bad defender, you're wrong. Go look at who was second in steals last year in the NBA. I'm not saying that matters. That means you're a great defender, but he's not a 0 like he used to be. You know what I mean? He's the most unstoppable player, man. Shaq won 3 straight Finals MVPs. He was a 7-footer that could move a certain way, and he was physically dominant, physically imposing. You can stop a perimeter player, the greatest. You can stop the greatest perimeter players ever. Jordan, Kobe, Steph, KD, Bar. You can stop those dudes. Even if LeBron could take his back to the basket, even if Kobe could take his back to the basket, you can contest their shots. You can't contest Shaq. You can't contest Joker. You can't contest Joel Embiid. Every time Joel Embiid plays, he gets 40 points. He's not on my top 10 list for obvious reasons. He's always hurt. I don't know what I'm going to get from him this year, but every time he plays, he scores 40. But you can't step a 7-footer that can move like that. If Wemby doesn't get hurt, he's going to be top 5 player ever. Like that's not crazy to say. The best version of Michael Jordan, the most dominant, 1993 Michael Jordan, the most complete version of Jordan, he will be the second option to Shaq. Because you have to throw it to Shaq. You have to throw it to Shaq would say that when him and Kobe used to play together. It was kind of backhanded. If you listen to some people around that time that was writing, but I think it was real. I think it was backhanded, and I think it was the truth. Yo, Kobe is the better player than me, but you got to get me the ball. You got to get me the ball. you're a better player than me, but you got to give me the ball. Joker is the most unstoppable player I've ever seen. I'm just saying that. Giannis is getting LeBron, where he dominates both ends of the floor just for his team to survive these games. And people just expect it. I'm a Celtic fan. I'm a diehard Celtic fan. Celtic fans were mad that Giannis finished over Tatum last year in MVP voting. Giannis was third, Tatum was fourth. If you switch, I know people hate if you switch if you switch them tests. People hate that with the MVP talk. I think it's a great litmus test. If you were to switch Giannis and Tatum last year, the Celtics win the championship. Like, if Giannis played with a bunch of shooters and defenders around him, he's never had a team like that. Like, I love Tatum. He's not better than Giannis. It's just that simple. Then SGA and Luka, I think Luka is a better basketball player than SGA because the passing with Luka is ridiculous. And I think he's more physically imposing a little bit, even though SGA gets to the free throw line more than anybody. But SGA won the chip last year. I'm not going to disrespect him like that. And then Ant, Brunson, Booker, KD, Steph, D. Mitch. Brunson is just a beast. He's just, one of the most valuable players in the league. And D. Book was playing, he was a top 6 guy on that Olympic team. Steve Kerr was playing them damn near the whole game, and he was picking up full court. He was picking up on defense. He wasn't playing almost the whole game, but he was picking up full court. Like, Steve Kerr was like, yo, go pick that other team's point guard up full court, and he was doing it, and it was working. So that's it, man. Let me get into the teams. I'm going to start with the Eastern Conference. I'm going to go team by team. I'm going to try not to make this too long. I'll be going 26 minutes so far. I'm going to try not to make this too long. I'm going to start with the Hawks. I live in Atlanta. I'm going to start with the Hawks. A lot of buzz in the offseason, man. A lot of people was picking them to not like win the East or be number 1 seed in the East, but they're definitely a top 4 in the East. People was talking like, I don't know, man. Is there any improvement from Trey? Is there anything for him to improve on? We know how terrible he is on defense. One of the worst defenders I've ever seen. I do think they got better, and I honestly think this team should just be judged off Jalen Johnson. Jalen Johnson, that was like one of the most underrated injuries last year. Jalen Johnson is really good. I want to see if his jump shot got better, but he's a decent playmaker, and he's aggressive. And I think he's a great player to have out there with Trey. Porzingis and Okongwu, like, do y'all think Okongwu was hyped when Porzingis came to the team? I think he was hyped. They got rid of Clint and then got Porzingis. Somebody who, if he's right, he's more valuable than Okongwu. If Porzingis is right and he's protecting the rim and he's shooting threes on the other end, that's super valuable. He had a rare disease last year, Porzingis. They actually had a name for it. Let me find it. They actually finally diagnosed what his injury was. They called it POTS. P-O-T-S, POTS. It's a autonomic condition that dramatically increases a patient's heart rate standing up instead of when he's spread horizontally. So when he's laying down, I guess he's fine, but when he's moving, his heart rate goes too fast where he can't control it. In his worst moments, Porzingis' heart rate could stabilize while laying down, but the fact that standing up could rev it up to 130 beats per minute made him play weird. I mean, he was weird last year, man. He was hurt physically. Then when he came back from injury, he was good for like a few weeks, and then he started having this disease. And then he got right again, and then he had that game in Madison Square Garden at the end of the season, the game where Tatum hit those big shots. But Porzingis was the most valuable player in that game last year, Knicks Celtics, the last regular season game. I was like, if he's gonna be that right, we're going back to the finals, because you have to double team him. You can't put anybody small on him, and he could protect the rim. He was just so valuable. But that, Knicks fans, I'm not saying y'all didn't beat us fair and square. I'm not saying that, okay? I'm not doing if Tatum didn't get hurt, y'all would have, you know what I mean, or we would have won. I'm not doing that, but I do think that injury was a factor. He was weird. That was crazy. So I don't know what to expect from him. Is that disease going to come back? Is it a cure? I don't understand. Alexander Walker was a big addition for them, though. I think that was a huge addition. He's going to be playing crunch time for them. Two-way player. Just, it seems like he's a good teammate, locker room dude. And clearly the Hawks won that DeJounte Murray trade. Like, clearly. They, won that 10 times over. You know what I mean? Unfortunately, DeJounte got hurt, you know what I mean? And he's coming back this year, right? He's coming back this calendar year. You know what I mean? But they clearly won that trade. Dyson Daniels is one of the – he was just – that deflection stat he had 70 more deflections than the rest of the league last year. So stupid like that. But I'm gonna move on to the Celtics, my team. My team. Let me just go ahead and say this right now. Let me say this right now. I'm gonna try to be as dramatic as possible. Jason Tatum is playing basketball this year. Jason Tatum will play basketball this NBA season, and he's gonna be good. I don't know if he'll be really good. I don't know if he'll be back to where he was last spring when he was like at worst, I'm the fifth worst player in the league, fifth best player in the league. My bad. You know what I mean? Like I think he's gonna play this year. I think he's gonna play. I don't want to get into the whole Achilles injury. That'll be something I talk about throughout the season. But what I expect from this Celtic team this year, I think Peyton Pritchard points per game are gonna go up a lot. I know that's like obvious to some people, but I think people need to be prepared. Like I think he could average like 19 a game. I think he's going to shoot a lot. He's going to shoot like 10 threes a game. So is the whole team. But you know what I mean? I think he's going to be out there a lot. I can't wait to watch them, man. Anthony Simons, I don't know yet. I don't know. I know what it could. I know what the good version could look like, but the bad version, I don't know. I don't know how good he's going to be on defense, and I don't know what we're going to do at center. I love Kata, but I don't know, man. And I want to see if Jalen's going to play more point forward. And I think Joe Mazzulla is too crazy to let this team win under 40 games. I think this team's gonna win over 45 games, and I think they're gonna be competitive. I think they're gonna be fun. Definitely to start the first couple of months, the Celtics are gonna be really fun to watch, and they're gonna beat a lot of teams. I don't know what's gonna happen the second half of the season. My dream is we start off kind of electric and fun, and we're team shooting 63s, and then kind of fade off a little bit January, February, and then Tatum comes back and we get boosted again and we go into the playoffs with some juice. That's my dream. Let me move on to the Cavaliers. Real quick, I like Lonzo Ball. I still believe in Lonzo. Not to be an all-star or to be, top 20, 25 player, but I believe that he could come off the bench for the Cavs and play 15, 20 minutes a game and push the ball and be a factor and play on both sides of the court. And when Darius Garland comes back, I want to see that 3-guard lineup with them. I want to see it. I think they're going to be really good. I think they're going to win high 50s and be really competitive and be a contender this year for sure. That's really all I got on them. The Bucks, like I said, I had Giannis number 2 on my rankings. The Doc Rivers thing is just always going to be there. Like, is he going to is he the coach for this team? But is this team a good team for any coach? You know what I mean? I don't know. I do like Cole Anthony. That is the guy I'm looking at this year. He's one of my guys that I want to see him be put on Front Street. Like, I want him to, in a good way. Like, I want to see him. I want people by like Christmas to be like, oh, I didn't know Cole Anthony was that nice. Yeah, I think he's another guy. Like, I want him averaging like 18, 19 a game, and I want to see how good he is this year. Like, who's this competition at that guard position? Kevin Porter Jr. And I like Kevin Porter Jr., but come on, man. Let's move on to the Hornets. I love Con Knipple. I think this guy's gonna be really good. His draft stock rose so quick from like where it was at the beginning of the year to people was like, is he like? He was a 4th pick in the draft. You know what I'm saying? I like Brandon Miller a lot. I really want to see improvement from him. Melo, LaMelo, is he a winning player? I don't think so. Fun player to watch. I know the kids like him. I don't know if he's a fun player to watch. I'm about to do production. Don't judge me. Okay, I'm about to do production. My fireplace only got like an hour runtime, so I got to restart it so it come back. Just act like I'm not doing nothing. Seamless. Nothing happened. Seamless. Let's get back. I just don't know if LaMelo's a winning player like that. I really don't. I think teams are going to score like I think you're going to see a couple teams score like 150 points on this team. I think you're going to see teams like dudes are going to have career highs against the Hornets. I don't know how they're going to play defense. I don't even know, like, even if they're coached right, how are they going to play defense? I just don't see it. Would this team make the playoffs, the Hornets? I don't know, man. The East is so bad. I don't know. Like, what if LaMelo's healthy and it makes a real difference? And it will make a difference if he's healthy, obviously. But I don't know, man. I really don't know, man. Teams like this that are shaky every year because you don't know if dudes are going to be healthy year to year, I just don't know. So I'm going to move on. The Magic, Orlando Magic. Last year, like, had the worst injury luck for, like, any really good team to me. I think if they were healthy last year, I think they would have been like a contender. Seriously. I'm a Celtic fan. We played that team last year, and the first 3 games, we couldn't get 2 straight good looks against them. They were physical. They was throwing dudes to the ground. They didn't care. They was getting in dudes' faces. I like them, man. I think their coach is tough, and I think Paolo's gonna get better. He was a playmaker last year in that playoffs for them. He was like point forwardy for real. Like he wasn't just doing it for like every now and then. The whole game, he was the decision maker for those teams. You know what I mean? For that team. And I think Bane's a real weapon. He's a jerk in a good way. Like he's gonna be a real spark for them, man. I really do. And obviously it's just health with them. Because I really like Jalen Suggs. I think he was really important. Like like when Jalen Johnson and Jalen Suggs went down, that kind of took the magic in the Hawks out of it. Like Jalen Suggs is really important to this team, man. He's one of the best on-ball defenders in the league. The Raptors, like I said, I'm honest. My first note, I don't know, man. LOL. I don't know. I really don't know. I like the players. I just don't know if I like them together. I love RJ Barrett. I still believe in RJ Barrett because I don't know. It's so hard to just put like all-star on somebody and all that, but I just think RJ Barrett. I think he's in like a bad situation. I really do. I don't know what, like he's gonna be in trade rumors for sure. He's gonna be in trade rumors. And so is quickly. I don't know if Scotty Barnes and Brandon Ingram. I don't know how that's gonna look. I really don't know. Last year I didn't like watching them. Then they had a bunch of injuries and then they just start sitting dudes out. So I don't know. Shout out to Toronto. They just made it to the World Series. I can't wait to watch. The Bulls, the Chicago Bulls. I weirdly like the team. And I think they're going to shock people this year. Every year, people do the East is so weak. The East is so weak. And then by Christmas, people are like, oh, the East is better than we thought. Yeah, I think the East is going to be better than people think this year. And it's going to be because of teams like the Bulls. People look at that roster and they like Kobe White and they notice the name Josh Giddey and they don't know, and they see Pat Williams and they just think the team is just, I think they're well coached. Okay. I don't know how, like Billy Donovan has just been around. Billy Donovan's still the coach, right? That'd be crazy if I just messed that up. But I think they're well coached. And I think they're gonna win games. I think Josh Giddey is a really good player. I think Josh Giddey is underrated. Like I think he's really good. I think he's a winning player. He gets dudes involved. He move the ball. And Kobe White gets better every year. Pat Williams is just a guy like bad contract. Nobody wants that contract, and it's not even that crazy of a contract. If you go look it up, he's just weird. I'm gonna move on to the Nets. The Brooklyn Nets, the Brooklyn, New Jersey Nets. Too many rookies, man. Like, are they just trying to tank? But for what? Y'all want more draft picks? Like what? And then like, I think Nick Claxton is always in trade rumors, and he's probably gonna be in the rumors. But y'all want more draft picks? I don't understand that. Like, they got Cam Thomas, who they traded Cam Johnson. They got Cam Thomas, who tried to get traded, tried to get an extension. Was he's not a loud player, but he was in the media a lot this summer. They didn't want to give him an extension. They kind of pretty much told him, we don't think you're worth it, and we don't think you're a winning player. And other teams pretty much told him that too for not wanting to trade for him. I could also see Cam Thomas and Michael Porter Jr. just like seeing who could get the 30 shots in the game first. Like who could shoot the most shots in the game. Like who could break. Like I think the Nets, the beginning of last year was winning games, like shocking teams. I think they're gonna do that this year too. You know what I mean? I think they're gonna be not fun to watch, but like, oh, Cam Thomas and Michael Porter Jr. have 55 points combined going into halftime. I think they're gonna have stupid stuff like that going on. I'll move on. The Pacers, great coach. Obviously, they made the finals last year and lost. Tyrese Halliburton injury, probably not gonna play this year. After I just said Tatum was gonna play, but it happened like a month and a half later. You know what I mean? I think that matters. They got Siakam. They got a lot of dudes that just play hard. I don't think they're gonna roll over. I think they're gonna be competitive. The Pacers have never not been competitive since I've been a fan of basketball. Every single year, even the years they don't make the playoff, you're not just going into Indiana and just beating. They're just a tough team. That's just how they are. Great fans, always a great home crowd. My back in this chair. Sheesh. Yeah, I think they're going to be really good. They got a coach that just adapts. You know what I mean? I think they're going to still play weird. They're going to piss teams off by how they play, how fast they play. You know what I mean? Yeah, I think the Pacers are gonna be good, man. I really don't have a lot to say about them. The Pistons, Cade, I don't know if he's gonna go up a level. I just want to see him. He was really consistent last year. I want him to go up another level. I do kind of want to see him go up another level. I just don't think the team got that much better. They pseudo replaced Malik Beasley with Duncan Robinson. Like the guys, you know what I mean? They got, especially like the young guys. Jaden Ivey's hurt. He's not gonna start the season again. That's all I got. You know what I mean? I think they'll be competitive. They'll be tough to play. I think they'll make the playoffs. The Wizards, the Washington Wizards, the Washington Bullet Wizards. CJ McCollum said it's the most professional organization he's been a part of since he's been in the NBA. Okay. I would like to ask like the fans that what they think, or here's the thing. I don't think the Wizards are doing. I don't think they're in as bad as a position as they were when they had the John Wall contract. Obviously, I don't know. That's all I got. That's all I got. The Miami Heat, the Miami Cockroach Heat. I hate this team. I hate the Miami Heat. I'm a Celtic fan. I root against the Lakers, like jokingly. I make fun of their fans. I have a love-hate thing with the Knicks. I love their fan energy. I hate the way they fans talk. Like some of my closest family members you'll see on this pod as we go along are diehard Knicks fans. My family's from New York. They're from the Bronx. They're diehard psycho Knicks fans. But I like watching the Knicks. Like the Knicks are like fun to watch, even if you hate the fans or whatever. I hate watching the Heat. I hate when my team plays against them. I hate Eric Spoelstra, even though he's a great coach. I just can't stand him. They just always like are there. I think they're gonna be good this year. They're gonna win games. They're gonna win 40 games. Like it may be like 40 and 42, but they're gonna be competitive. They're gonna beat teams when they shouldn't. They're starting off with a Tyler Hero injury. I think he's supposed to be out definitely at least the first month and a half. But I don't know. I wonder, does Bam have another level to go? I really don't think so. He's gonna be in trade rumors, but I don't think they're gonna trade him. Moving on to the Sixers. I just think they got to improve the 76ers because I don't think it could go as bad as it went last year. Like, it went bad for them not in every space because Maxey got better. McCain was looking like he was going to win Rookie of the Year. And they nailed Yabusele. Yabusele was so good, especially the first half of the season. He was like exactly what you wanted. Hit your open shots, be tough on defense. That's exactly what he was doing last year. I guess it's all on Embiid. He looks like he's more in shape, but I just don't know. So I just believe in some kind of improvement because it can't be as bad as it was last year. Moving on. I think this is the last team I got here in the East, right? The Knicks, the New York Knickerbockers, named after a candy bar. I find that out every year. They were named after a candy bar. The Knickerbockers was a candy bar. The Knicks. This was my pick to make the finals. The New York Knicks was my pick to make the finals. All summer, going into training camp, watch some of those preseason games. And I was like, man, I think the Knicks they made it to what? Game 6 of the conference finals last year? I think they got a little better. I think their bench got better. And I think the new coach bump is real. Or so I thought. What are these weird quotes coming out the last week from the Knicks? Mike Brown and Jalen Brunson said like the same day, like the same press conference. We don't really know how long it's going to take for us to learn this offense. It's going to be a learning curve. Huh? What new offense is he installing? And then they asked Cat, what is your role in this offense? Which I believe that means the reporter knew that there was something going on, and great question by the reporter. I didn't see who asked that, but the Knicks obviously have great media. Great question, because he knew it was something going on, and he asked Cat, and Cat gave him the exact answer he wanted that got me questioning my finals pick. He gave the exact wrong answer you don't give when the reporter asked, what is your role in this offense? Carl Anthony Towns said, I don't know. Oh, I was ready to take them. Like, that's just bad to me. And I don't think he's playing tonight to start. It's 7:38. I don't know if he's playing. He has an injury, and he don't know his role. And they're giving Mitchell Robinson load management already. It's just a bad start. It's just a bad vibes, I'll say. Bad vibes. still think Brunson is a beast. I still love Mikal Bridges. I still like OG. I think it should be improvement. I don't know what offense is he installed. I thought it was just an equal opportunity, free flowing offense. What is he? I can't wait to watch and see. I do remember when Mike Brown was the head coach, real quick, and then I'll move on to the West. Because I've been going 45 minutes. I want to get through the West quick. I remember when Mike Brown was hired to be the Lakers coach for that 2012-13 team. And, that was the team with Steve Nash, Kobe, Ron Artest, he was Metta World Peace, Pau Gasol, and Dwight Howard. And people was, his team going to win a championship. We'll finally get Heat versus Lakers. We'll get Bron versus Kobe. It was bad from the jump. Mike Brown installed the Princeton offense, and I remember Kobe called it out like the first 2 weeks. Like, please, this is terrible. Why are we doing this? This is the NBA. Excuse me, I didn't mean to burp. Why are we running this? And then he got fired. You know what I mean? He got fired. I don't remember when, but he got fired. I don't know why he's doing that. What is he doing? Is he doing the same thing here? Is he when he go to a big city, he thinks he has to no, bro, just play the bench more. Tell guys to move the ball. Don't have Mikal Bridges just standing in the corner when he was running pick and rolls in Brooklyn. Not saying I want him being point guard, but have Jalen Brunson off the ball more. Stop having your point guard bring the ball up every time. It's easier to guard him like that. And this is the last thing I'm going to say. History says, this is not what I say, this is what history says. History says in modern day basketball, if your best player is 6'3" and under, you're not winning the championship. You're just not. Unless you're Isaiah Thomas or Steph Curry. And Steph Curry might be 6'3". You know what I mean? And he's the greatest shooter ever. Or you're Isaiah Thomas. Like, that's the list. That's it. That's what history says. So Chris Paul, Allen Iverson, Brunson, you're not winning a chip if you're your team's best player. But I was still picking them to go to the finals. You know what I mean? I was still picking them to go to the finals. And, I don't know. I thought they just had some weird quotes, man. Just weird vibes going into the season. And Cat and Julius Randle had this too. They just have that resting, things aren't going well for me face, even though that might not be the case, but I digress. Let me move on. Start with the Western Conference. I'm going to start with the Warriors. I'm out. I don't think that team's going to be good this year or really good. I don't think they're going to be really good this year. I know they won, but I don't think that Laker team is that good either. I really don't. I don't think there's a world where both of those teams miss the playoffs. 100%. That's a world. That team is old. They're going to be relying on Al Horford just for them to announce that he's not playing back-to-backs. What? And then Steven Jackson from All the Smoke said he thinks this is the best 5 in the NBA this year. Steph, Jimmy, Kuminga, Draymond, and Al Horford. Did you watch Al Horford last year, Steven Jackson? He was terrible for the Celtics last year. Not terrible, but not good. But it didn't matter. He was on a stacked team. Just won the championship. He's beloved in the city. We wasn't relying on Al Horford, and we hoping we got him for the playoffs. I know that's what the Warriors are thinking too, but not for Steven Jackson to say that's the best 5. That's just wrong. He says stuff like that, and I go, do you watch basketball, bro? Do you watch basketball? Jimmy gets hurt every year, it seems like. He's going to be healthy this year? What are the games? How many games are Steph, Jimmy, and Draymond going to play? Draymond has a back injury every year now. These dudes are old, and they've been in a lot of wars. I just don't think they're going to be healthy enough to go through a whole regular season and go through a playoff. I just don't think it's going to happen. And I think Steve Kerr and the Warriors botched that Kuminga situation last year. You take this value, you playing him, then you not playing him, you playing with his minutes. The playoff start, you don't really want to play him against the athletic Rockets team, which I thought he was the perfect guy to play in that series. Kind of tank his value, and then when the offseason comes, you try to trade him. They just ruined that to me. I still think he could be good this year. I just don't know. I think they ruined that whole thing. Moving on to the Lakers. I talked about it when I was talking about the game earlier. I think Luka can win the MVP, and I think he's going to be the best player this year in the league. They're relying on LeBron. I think it's over. If LeBron James is your second best player, you're not winning the championship. You're not a contender to me. I think LeBron could be your third best player and you're a contender, but not your second best when you're relying on him on both ends of the floor. I just don't believe it. And I'm just out on DeAndre Ayton forever. I'm just out. I don't even want to talk about it. I'm just out. I believe in JJ, but I'm out on Ayton. I don't even want to talk about it no more. The Clippers. I'm gonna try to move a little faster. The Clippers. I don't know what their first road game of the season is, but you're definitely gonna get Pablo Torre, da 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 da. Pablo Torre. That's 100% happening. That whole aspiration deal. I'll talk about that at some point because I think more drama is coming from that. I think the Kawhi drama, Pablo Torre, the aspiration deal. Go do your research on that. I think it's going to linger over, but I don't think it's going to stop them from winning games. I don't think Kawhi cares. I don't think Kawhi lost any sleep over that situation. Say what you want about James Harden and all his playoff blunders, well documented. I agree with all of them. If James Harden's in a meaningful playoff game and his team needs him to win, bet against him. That's what history says. Bet against them. But he wins games in the regular season. He don't miss games. And he's a regular season wins machine. I think this team's gonna be really good. And I think they're gonna be a top 4 team in the West. Top 4 or 5 team in the West. The Kings. My first note for the Kings on this team is I don't want to watch this team. I just don't want to watch them. Great fans, but they got to be a little weirded out. They went from light to beam 2 years ago, being in a game 7 with the Warriors. And if De'Aaron Fox didn't mess up his left hand in that game, he still played. But if he didn't mess up his left hand, they definitely could have won that game. I know Steph had 50, but they definitely could have won that game 7 a couple years ago. Their fans have to go, how did we go from that exciting season, even after they lost in game 7, to 2 years we have the Chicago Bulls on? We have Zach LaVine and DeMar DeRozan and Sabonis, who's going to be in trade rooms all year. And we just signed Russell Westbrook, who the first thing Doug Christie said was, we're going to let Russ be Russ. That's the same thing LeBron said. And they beefing right now for whatever reason. Out on the Kings. I'm out. Don't even want to talk about them. Don't want to watch them. Don't think they're going to matter. Moving on to the Suns. The Phoenix Suns. I think Devin Booker is like in basketball. My first note is Devin Booker is in basketball hell, but real estate heaven. If you just bored, you're just laying around, you want to feel good, just go on Zillow or Redfin and just look at the houses in Scottsdale or Phoenix. Just some of the most beautiful homes in the world. I think he's going to be good. He always get these weird injuries too, where he has to miss a couple weeks. I don't know what they were thinking with the Jalen Green thing. I like the Duke center, the rookie. Not going to try to pronounce his name. Malawak. I just like him. I think he's going to be good. Is the owner going to calm down now? Is Matt Ishbia going to calm down? He just took a shot at Bill Simmons because on the Ringer they said that the Suns were guaranteed to have like the worst defense in the league, which I think is possible. They could definitely have the worst defense in the league. But Matt Ishbia got defensive, like, we're not going to have the worst defense, Bill Simmons. Tell your company they're wrong for saying we're going to have the worst defense. What if it's like third worst? Are you still going to poke your chest out? Matt, he's weird. Is he going to calm down this year? It's like he read Bill Simmons. Bill Simmons used to do this thing called GM Summit where he would just rag on all the GMs. He's like one of the first writers to that was really popular to just rag on GMs. And he used to do this thing called GM Summit where he would just, I think it was called not GM. It was the GM Summit, but he would also go at the GMs and the owners, and he would call this disease new owner syndrome, where these new owners, it was like a 15-year track record of these owners buying these teams and immediately making like 3 straight bad trades that set the team back 5 years. Matt Ishbia, it's like he read all of those articles. It was like, I want to be the worst owner of all time. I mean, he's on track to be like the worst owner ever. That's saying a lot. That is saying a lot. I'm gonna move on though. Dallas Mavericks. Jason Kidd already quit on D'Angelo Russell. Jason Kidd already quit on D'Angelo Russell. That is just hilarious to me. Like, he already quit on him, man. He's already, like, D'Angelo Russell, when he signed, definitely thought he was going to be starting with the Kyrie Irving. His agent and him definitely was like, yeah, you're going to start the first 2-3 months. Kyrie's not playing. And he's benched before the season starts. They're about to play a rookie at point guard, and then their shooting guard is going to be P.J. Washington. Like, Jason Kidd is already like, I'm not dealing with D'Angelo Russell. I'm out. I'm already not dealing with him. That's hilarious to me. Anthony Davis coming into the season out of shape and then talking about it like it's funny. Like, you already tried this with the Lakers when you tried to bulk up. You're a big man. You have to do the most moving on the court out of anybody. You have the most responsibility. Get skinnier, especially when you're playing with other centers. I just don't. Why? I just don't get it. And people keep talking like Kyrie Irving's just gonna come back from this injury 25 a game. He's old too. Yeah. So I do think the Mavs will be good though. I still like their team. I think Cooper Flag is really good. I think I've had him win the Rookie of the Year. I think he's kind of a maniac too. I think he's gonna play really hard on both ends of the floor. Obviously I'll talk about that. I think they're gonna be a really good team this year. I can see them winning 50 games, but still just being this weird team. I just think their team got a lot of good players on it for them to be bad. But Jason Kidd already being out on D'Angelo Russell just hilarious to me. Moving on to the Pelicans, that terrible draft on trade night, them trading their next year's pick to trade up to get a guy who's just like two other guys you have. They traded their next year's pick to draft Patrick Queen, who's a forward on a team with Trey Murphy and Zion Williamson. You traded your pick for next year. You're in the Western Conference. You're not making a playoff. I'm not going to say you're not going to make the playoff because if skinny Zion's a real thing, you could be a threat. But it's just not a guarantee in the West. What if you don't make the playoff? What if the best case scenario for you is you don't make the playoff, Zion's still good, and you don't have your pick next year? You just drafted a dude. It just don't make sense, man. They just that trade was just terrible. Even like best case scenario, that trade is terrible to me. Like even if Patrick Queen works out, that's just terrible. You need your pick for next year. That's just bad to me. And like I said with the Hawks, how the Hawks clearly won the trade, they obviously clearly just lost that DeJounte Murray trade. Moving on to the Grizzlies, all their big men are hurt to start the season. Like all their centers are hurt. That's not good. They fired their coach last year. It's all on if Ja's healthy or not. That's really what this team is. Triple J and Ja are starting the season off kind of hurt. It looks like Ja's gonna be okay though. Looks like he's gonna be okay. If Ja's gonna be healthy, I think the team could be good. If he's not, ain't really nothing to talk about. I still like Zach Edey, but he's too big. I don't know if he can stay healthy. Moving on to the Timberwolves. The first note I have here for the Minnesota Timberwolves is Julius Randle stopped smoking weed. Julius Randle stopped smoking weed, man. I think that's a real thing. He said how when he was living in New York, the pressure, the fans, he was stressed out, going through things in his personal life, and him smoking weed was clouding him and keeping him trapped in that mind state. I maybe can relate. I probably can relate to that. But I think him stop smoking weed is a real factor. You know what I mean? If you're a deep podcast listener like me, if you're deep in the podcast world, I'm not going to say too much, but you could kind of guess who Julius Randle Plug was. I could kind of guess where he was getting his weed from. That's all I'm going to say. And I don't think it's hard for Karl Anthony Towns to find that same plug. That's all I'm going to say. But Ant-Man, top 5 player in the league. He could even, I think he's going to be an MVP candidate this year. I like Naz Reid. They got him back. They lost Alexander Walker. I think that was a big lose, but I'm kind of out on Mike Conley. He's old too. He was in the 07 draft. Bill Simmons said think Mike Conley's gonna be good again. I don't know why Bill Simmons would say that, but I don't know. I think they're gonna be really good. I think they could be a 50-win team. Obviously, really not much to say there. The Trailblazers, they just got rid of DeAndre Ayton. They was like, please get out of here, please, like go away, please. We're the Portland Trailblazers. We shouldn't be telling nobody to leave, but we want you out of here. We'll drive you to the airport. We'll pack your bag, drive you to the airport. Is Chauncey Billups a good coach? I really don't know yet. The Scoot injury, I think it's a hamstring injury. They're acting like he's gonna be back within a month. I always add a month to those injuries. I just always think those that you just never know. They traded Anthony Simons to my team for Drew Holiday, which means they want a real adult in that room. And I think they're gonna try to win. I just, I like Avdia. He was a revelation for them last year. I like Klingon. I think he's going to be good this year. They got my guy Robin Williams. He's going to be in trade rooms all year. I think they're going to be good. I think they're going to be competitive. Yeah, that's all I got. Utah. Will Hardy. I think he's a good coach. Don't they have to try to win games? Y'all gonna lose and y'all gonna tank again? They got fined for tanking last year and like losing games on purpose and sitting out guys when they shouldn't. Ace looked legit. He had that, and he just fired his agent a couple weeks ago, but he looked legit. That was kind of good. People were he was looking like he was gonna be like a 30 for 30, like this guy who had all this promise, and he had this agent who was doing all this weird stuff in the draft, and then he fires him. It seemed like it helped. He looks legit. I really like Walker Kessler. He's gonna be in trade rooms again. But Utah kind of said we're not trading him though, but teams always kind of try to poach for him. I really like him. He just always seems like he's in the right places. I see his jump shot getting better every year. Like I like the roster, but just like every other team in the West, I hate that you're in the West. Like even if your team is good, it might not matter. You're in the West. You play a good team every night, damn it. The Spurs, Wemby, man. So in my top 10 players list, he wasn't on there, but that's the obvious. Like in like 3 weeks, I could be like, that's a top 7 player. Like it's all about if he plays or not. He's going to be the most impactful defensive player this year if he plays. And offensively, he's literally moving guys out of the way and just dunking the basketball. Like I said about Joker and about big guys, and when you're that big and if you can move that good, you're just unstoppable. If Wemby's going to play this year, he's going to be an MVP candidate. Like, and the Spurs should be a 50-win team. I like Castle. I think Harper's going to be playing right away. And I think D Fox is going to be a factor for them. You know what I mean? I think D Fox and Harper are going to be playing together. I don't know how good that is going to be because they both have shaky jump shots. So so does Castle, but I just like the team. This is a Wemby pick for me in terms of me picking them to be a really good team. If Wemby's going to be playing, if you just guaranteed Wemby playing 70 games, ain't even nothing to talk about. This team's going to be really good this year. I like a lot of their young players, and I like D Fox, man. Moving on to the Rockets. Talked about them a lot, so I'm not going to linger on it. Obviously, the Fred VanVleet injury was really big, but they got Ime, who's a maniac. And I think this team defensively is going to crush teams like OKC did last year. I think them and OKC are going to be the two best. I think we watched the two best defensive teams in the league last night. Too big, too physical, man. I think they're going to punish teams this year, man. I love Jabari Smith. Obviously, I said that. Again, I'm not going to talk about them too much. Talk about them. I do think they could win. Before Fred got hurt, I had them winning 60 games, but, you know, I really don't know now. The Thunder. Not really much to say here either, man. I think they're going to be great again. I think they're going to be the best team in the league again this year. They're going to win 60 games again, at least. J-Dub, not to start the season. He's not going to be playing. I don't think it matters. I think it really ain't nothing much to say. Like, Bill Simmons, Zach Lowe, and Joe House talked about this. It's kind of boring how good they are. Like, I just think they're going to be dominant again, and they're going to be a contender. SGA is going to put up the same numbers, I think, this year. Like, it's really nothing to talk about. Go OKC, man. Shout out to y'all. And then the last team I have here is the Nuggets, the Denver Nuggets. I already said what I had to say about them. I'm going to say it right now. This is my pick to win the championship, the Denver Nuggets. The Denver Nuggets are my pick to win the championship. And it's a Joker pick. I think he's the most unstoppable player I've ever seen, and I think he's the best player in the league, and I think the team got better. They were winning late in that game versus OKC in Game 7 last year in OKC. Game 7, the Nuggets were winning, definitely in the third quarter of that game. They were winning. And that's Aaron Gordon with a hamstring. He was limping up and down the court. Michael Porter Jr. with a torn rotator cuff on his right shoulder, I believe. And Jamal Murray had something, I think, or he was shaky. And Christian Brown and Joker were competing against one of the best teams I've seen ever. So, yeah, the team got better. They have the best player in the league. I think they're going to win the championship. I do. I think that's just a safe pick. I think Joker's the best player in the league. I'm going to keep saying it. I'm going to say that a billion times this year. Joker's the best player in the NBA. That's it. That's my NBA preview. That's it, man. That's really all I got. Thank you guys for tuning in to the Broken Clock. I want to record again tomorrow on Thursday. I don't know exactly how I want to do it, but I'm trying things, man. I'm trying. I'm not saying this is perfect. I know I'm messing up. But I'm learning, man. Like I said, in a month, I'm gonna look back at these first few videos and things I'm posting and look back like, what was I doing? But that's improvement. I'm having fun doing this. It's no doubt I'm having fun. It's so I went over an hour. I said I didn't want to go over an hour. I had fun doing this, man. I love the NBA. It's 7:58 Eastern time. I can't wait to watch these games, man. I'm ready to watch these games, and yeah, I'm gonna try to record tomorrow, and I'm gonna figure out things as I go, man. Thank you. Broken Clock Podcast. I am Jabari. Peace.